of the more bizarre games at Sony's conference is Octodad. Philip is here to talk to us about it. Philip, what is it?
So Octodad is a game about an octopus who's pretending to be a human father of this family, which doesn't know he's an octopus. And so the whole idea is you want to keep this from them because you love them so much and you don't want them to find out and disown you. And so you basically have to do these mundane things like dishes and other chores, but it's difficult to do because you have no bones and you flop all over the place and just make a total disaster of things. And so you get suspicion anytime you do anything out of the ordinary, and you're trying to be inconspicuous while you go throughout your kind of daily routine.
Well, what's the sort of control scheme then for it? I mean, how does it work? Is it like triggers for each limb?
Yeah, you control each limb independently, and so left and right trigger correspond to left and right feet, and you walk around in leg mode, and then if you press L1, you can actually switch into arms mode, and that's where you can actually like pick stuff up and grab it and open doors and that sort of thing, which you control the horizontal movement with the left stick and the vertical movement with the right stick, and you grab things with R1.
You must just love standing here watching this just come apart.
Oh, it's a lot of fun seeing people like experience this for the first time, because it's an independent game, and so I mean it's decently well known within that space, but I don't think like a mass audience has yet to be introduced to it, and so this is a great opportunity for us.
Where did the idea come from? Were you guys had too many drinks one night?
Surprisingly, no. We're just really weird. But there's a game called Jurassic Park Trespasser, and in that game, you control the person's arm. It's a first-person shooter, and you control it rather intricately. And it was pitched as like a serious feature, or so it seemed, but it actually turned out to be really funny. And so that's part of it. And then there's being John Malkovich, the idea of like being in someone's head and controlling them and managing their movement. And so we had this micromanagement of movement theme, riding the line between frustrating and hilarious. And then we were like, well, what if we put like this alien inside of an android's head, and he controls it with levers, and you have to walk him down the street or something? And they were like, well, that's not, it's not very funny or like charming. And so we're like, why not an octopus? And we'll just cut out the middleman and put him in a suit. And then it kind of rolled from there, and you're like, well, what if he has a family and like they have no idea that he's an octopus? And that's how the story started to form.
It's basically a whiteboard with a load of post-it notes on it somewhere with every idea over the duration.
Exactly, yes.
Well, how long has this been in development for? I mean, what's been the process you guys putting this together?
This game's been in development for about 2 years now. It's actually a sequel to the student project that we worked on, just called Octodad. And basically, we released that game for free, the first one, back in 2010. And we got a really good reception from it. We were part of the Independent Games Festival selection that year. And then we kind of realized that people really loved the game. And then maybe we should go back and do everything we wanted to do the first time when we didn't really have the time to do it. And so we formed our own studio, Young Horses, and now we're working away at this as our first commercial game.
So how did you end up in PS4? Did Sony approach you and just say, hey, we want this on it?
I mean, in simple terms, yeah. So we were contacted by them back in 2011 when we were at GDC. And ever since then, they've kind of checked in from time to time on our progress. And then more recently at PAX East, they were like, hey, we're doing PS4. Are you guys interested in that sort of thing? And of course, we were like, yes, absolutely. And so then they sent us kits, and we started trying to port it. And that only took like about a month. It was pretty quick, actually. And here we are.
What we're hearing is basically the PS4 is so simple and so easy to build on, and because it's almost got that PC architecture, sort of transferring across is very, very simple. I mean, is that, even you knew that in theory, were you still surprised at how easy it was?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Geisler, one of our programmers who did the port, was just like super pleased with like, it was just kind of coming along, and we had it up and running within like a week, and then we were just tweaking and optimizing and testing throughout the rest of the month. So we were surprised.
What's the structure for it? I mean, I know you're saying that basically you're playing that and you're resting stuff, but what's the structure? I mean, how many levels? What are people looking at?
Yeah, so the structure is a bit like an adventure game in that there are like 11 chapters and you sort of play through this whole story and their cutscenes and that sort of thing, and it gets a bit dramatic, believe it or not. There's a bit deeper story than people realize.
It's going to surprise people?
I think so. I think it will, yeah.
I'm not even going to ask you what it is, because I'm sure you don't want to say it, and I don't want to reveal it to anybody out there who wants to play it.
Yeah, I can't say a word about that just yet.
Well, tell us, what have you guys got left to do? Where are you now? What have you got left to do, and when should people expect to play it?
All right, so right now we have pretty much the whole game blocked out, which means we can play through it from start to finish. But a lot of the levels are missing art and things like that we're just basically creating content from here until release and testing and things like that. And we're expecting to release actually on PC, Mac, and Linux on Steam in January, and then hopefully PS4 in spring.
Thank you very much indeed for talking to us today.
No problem, thank you.
Nobody suspects